Have you ever had the feeling that there is something different about you, something that no one sees, but that screams inside? As if there was a silent call pulling you in a direction that you can't even explain? What if I told you that this is not madness, nor is it coincidence? It is a spiritual mark, an invisible signature left by God on your soul. Carl Jung, one of the greatest thinkers in depth psychology, already pointed to this without using these exact words. That some of us carry unique spiritual archetypes, signs of a deep awakening and a life mission that can only be revealed from within. These are the chosen ones. But not all chosen ones are the same. There are different types, with different wounds, specific gifts, and secret paths. And the most curious thing? All of this could already be happening to you, and you haven't even realized it yet. Before we dive into this universe of self-knowledge, I would like to invite you to subscribe to the channel, like it, and activate notifications. This way, you can ensure that you are always connected to content that inspires and transforms. Let's join us. In this video, you will meet 7 types of chosen ones who walk among us, some silent, others explosive, some who heal with their gaze, others who challenge the world with their words. We will reveal the signs, the trials, the hidden gifts, and most importantly, what Jung already knew about you, even before you understood what you were feeling. But be careful. Understanding this can change the way you see your own life. Because once you recognize yourself as a chosen soul, there is no way to go back to who you were before. There is a type of pain that does not paralyze, it awakens. The wounded prophet is the chosen one who, from an early age, senses that his story has more layers than the common eye can see. He has experienced spiritual rejection, emotional abuse, inner visions, and none of this was for nothing. What seemed like punishment was, in fact, called spirituality in disguise. This sensitive soul was not shaped just to survive, but to translate the mysteries of deep spirituality. And Jung already said, where there is a wound, there is also hidden healing. This type of chosen one carries a soul mission that cannot be expressed in simple words. They hear their inner voice clearly, even when the world tries to silence it. They are people who, although seemingly fragile, sustain a spiritual strength that comes from other dimensions. What moves them is not vanity, but obedience to the divine purpose. When they speak, they do not give their opinion, they channel. Their words awaken others, even without meaning to. And precisely for this reason, many do not understand them and reject them. The emotional healing of this prophet begins when he stops trying to be accepted and starts accepting who he really is. Many of them try for years to fit into traditional models, professions, religions, families that don't understand them. Until one day, the pain overflows and the mission screams. It is at this moment that the spiritual awakening happens. They understand that what hurt them was exactly what prepared them. From that moment, they stop running away and start guiding. Do you recognize this spiritual archetype in yourself? Maybe you are that person who has always been called too intense, too sensitive, too dramatic. But the truth is, you have always been more connected to the invisible. The chosen prophet sees first, feels first, suffers first, because his mission is to announce what has not yet been born. Jung spoke of the need to look at the shadow, and the wounded prophet does this every day, with courage and tears. And don't think that the gift manifests itself with glory. Often, it comes in silence. The wounded prophet is not the most popular, but he is the most connected. He doesn't need a stage, he needs depth. When he understands that his secret spiritual mission is not to convince, but to reveal, everything changes. Inner clarity becomes a compass. Suffering finds meaning, and the spiritual journey takes on a new tone, that of surrender, that of the truth that saves. So if you feel like your life has been marked by spiritual trials and pain that no one else has seen, perhaps your mission is not to survive the world, but to translate heaven into it. You are not broken, you are being shaped. Your spiritual strength was not born from the absence of pain, but from living with it. Awaken your prophetic voice. Your pain is not a punishment, it is a tool. And the next step in your journey is about to be revealed. Some people seem to live in a constant state of alert. They cannot stand injustice, they cannot tolerate oppression, and even without understanding why, they feel that they are here to protect something sacred. This is the warrior of light, one of the chosen ones who fights battles that others do not even see. From an early age, They notice the imbalance in their surroundings, the abuse of power, the shadows in their relationships. And the most curious thing, even when they fall, they always get up. Because they know, deep down, that they are not fighting just for themselves, but for many. Carl Jung saw the warrior archetype as an essential figure for the psychic and spiritual balance of human beings. But the spiritual warrior does not fight with a sword. He fights with consciousness. His strength comes from the awakening of consciousness, from his sense of non-negotiable mission. He feels that he has been called by God to be a shield for those who have no voice. He carries the burden of the invisible battle, where the enemy is not made of flesh, but of energy, of system, of illusion. And because of this, he often feels tired, but never defeated. This inner calling moves him even when everything around him tells him to give up. He may be in a corporate environment, a classroom, a religious temple, or a slum, but the battlefield is always the same, the human soul. The warrior of light fights against ego, falsehood, and indifference. And every time he comes across someone suffering, his chosen soul pulses with more intensity. Because where others see chaos, he sees a mission. Where others are silent, he raises his voice. And what sets him apart? His spiritual strength does not depend on recognition. He may be attacked, discredited, left alone, but he remains steadfast. Because he understands that his strength does not come from the world, it comes from within. Many of these spiritual warriors suffer from feeling too much, from carrying the weight of others, from not knowing how to turn off their sensitivity. But this sensitivity is precisely the sensor that guides them. They are not fragile. They are profound. If you identify with this profile, you may have been called too intense, quarrelsome, complicated. But perhaps you are just someone who cannot pretend not to see the suffering of others. You feel the pain of the world because you were born to confront it. Your mission in life is clear: to protect what is sacred, to fight with light where darkness reigns, to be an anchor where many are adrift. And even when everything inside you asks for a truce, the heavens whisper to you, keep going. So take a deep breath. You are not tired. You are in battle. And heaven trusts you. You are not a rebel. You are a spiritual healer in armor. You are here to break down walls, awaken consciences, and inspire courage. Keep fighting, because every battle you fight within frees someone without. And in the next type of chosen one, we will talk about the healer, but almost no one notices. Not every miracle makes noise. Some happen in the silence of a hug, in a welcoming gaze, in a presence that reorganizes everything without saying anything. The invisible healer is one of the most subtle and most powerful chosen ones. He does not need an altar, a pulpit, or social media. His temple is sensitivity. Wherever he goes, something changes. People feel at peace, even without understanding why. His spiritual mission is not to convince. It is to transform energy. According to Jung, those who have already delved into their own pain are the only ones capable of supporting the pain of others. And that is what defines this type of spiritual healer. They have already bled in silence. They have experienced trauma, abandonment, and wounds to the soul that have made them experts in welcoming others. They feel deeply, listen without judgment, and understand what is not said. Their soul is like a healing field. Whoever enters it leaves differently, not because they speak, but because they vibrate. This spiritual empath has a radar that's finely tuned to detect emotional pain, even when no one is saying anything. At parties, he feels the weight of forced smiles. On dates, he notices absent hearts. This is the kind of sensitive soul who carries the world on his shoulders and yet chooses to love. His soul mission is to restore, to soothe, to align. He is chosen not to be seen, but to be felt. His work is deep and often invisible. But make no mistake, this type of mission also hurts. The invisible healer is almost never recognized. People get better around him and think it was a coincidence. Inside, he carries an existential fatigue, as if he were always draining other people's pain. That is why many of these chosen ones live isolated, feeling that no one understands them. And this leads them, sooner or later, to spiritual awakening, where they understand that they are not here to be seen, but to be instruments. If you identify with this archetype, you may have noticed you attract confessions. People open up to you out of the blue. Children, animals, even strangers, everyone seems to trust you. It's no coincidence. It's because your energy carries the balm of heaven. And even without a degree, position, or label, you have healed more people than you can imagine. Your inner calling is silent, but sacred. Don't underestimate it. You don't need to make noise to make an impact. The world needs warriors, but it also needs hands that heal without asking for anything in return. And if you are that channel, remember, the gift you carry may not have a stage, but it has a purpose. And that purpose is divine. Your presence is healing. Your mission is restoration. And in the next type of chosen one, we will meet the one who, instead of adapting, chose to break away. Have you ever felt like everything around you is wrong, but no one seems to notice? That the rules you've been taught since you were a child don't make sense to your soul? Then perhaps you are a spiritual rebel, a rare and necessary type of chosen one. He came not to repeat speeches, but to confront structures. From an early age, he notices flaws in systems, religions, families, and this deeply bothers him. His mission is to break through what is corrupt and make room for the new. And this, of course, has a price. Carl Jung said that those who look outside dream, but those who look inside awaken. And it is precisely this spiritual awakening that transforms the rebel into a messenger of truth. He refuses the comfort of lies. He cannot stand pretending, keeping quiet, pretending. That is why many call him problem, rebellious, difficult. But he is, in truth, a chosen prophet who had the audacity to listen to his inner voice and say, "This is not right." He does not break through ego. He breaks through conscience. This type of chosen one goes through intense spiritual trials. He is rejected by family members, misunderstood by religious leaders, and discredited by authorities. But even so, he does not give up, because within him burns a spiritual calling that cannot be ignored. The rebel of truth does not seek applause, he seeks freedom. He knows that he needs to tear veils, even if it brings loneliness. His role is to free souls, starting with his own. And it is important to understand. He does not break away for pleasure, but for a mission. When he challenges traditions, he is trying to heal what has already died and no one has had the courage to bury. When he moves away from dogmas, he is simply listening to the divine purpose that calls him to something greater. This spiritual seeker goes from religion to religion, from philosophy to philosophy, until he understands that his faith is beyond the walls. It is in the direct connection with God. He does not bow down. He awakens. If you identify with this archetype, you may have asked yourself, why do I never fit in? Or why do I always clash with what everyone else accepts? The answer may be right there. You didn't come to fit in. You came to expand. Your path is not one of repetition. It's one of reinvention. You are called to break cycles, destroy patterns, and tear down masks. And when it hurts, because it will, remember, it's not rebellion. It's spiritual leadership in the making. So the next time someone tells you that you overcomplicate things, that you're never satisfied, that you challenge everything, smile. Because you're not problematic, you're revolutionary. And you're called to break cycles. You're a kind of healer who heals through confrontation. A warrior who frees through truth. And in the next kind of chosen one, we'll meet the one who feels too much and transforms the world from within. Some people don't just listen, they capture. They don't just see, they absorb. The spiritual empath is one of those rare beings, chosen ones who feel the world at high voltage. Since they were little, they could tell when their parents were sad, even if they said everything was fine. They feel the mood in the room, the weight of the silence, the unexpressed anger. They live with an emotional radar that is always on, which is a gift, but also a challenge. Because carrying so much sensitivity, it's tiring. According to Carl Jung, great healers are also deeply wounded. And that's what an awakened empath is, a sensitive soul who has bled in silence many times. But when he awakens, he realizes that his sensitivity is not a weakness, it's a tool. He's not here just to feel. He's here to transform. He can align the energy field of an environment with his presence. He's the kind of person that others seek out just to talk, and they leave feeling lighter, without even knowing why. This type of spiritual healer does not have an obvious mission. He does not necessarily heal with words or touch. He heals with vibration. He senses what is going to happen, feels pain that is not his own, is moved by causes that no one understands. Because of this, many of these chosen ones go through periods of confusion, wondering if there is something wrong with them. But there is not. They are simply being attuned to their true, secret spiritual mission. The empath's greatest challenge is to differentiate between what is theirs and what belongs to others. They need to learn to protect themselves without closing themselves off, to help without canceling themselves out, to feel without drowning. Many spiritual seekers go through this process until they understand that they need to take care of their own energy before giving it to the world. And when they do this, they become true warriors of light, not with a sword, but with presence. The awakened empath is, above all, a guardian of inner peace. If you identify with this profile, you may have felt too fragile, too emotional, too dramatic. But know this, you feel too much because you were born to transform too much. You capture what others ignore. And this makes you a bridge between the invisible and the visible, between the spiritual and the emotional. Your mission in life is not to harden, it is to illuminate. It is not to protect yourself from the world, it is to purify it with your presence. So the next time your sensitivity makes you cry for no reason, remember, it's heaven whispering that you're wired. You didn't come into this world to survive, you came to soften it. And your sensitivity isn't a mistake, it's a divine technology. In the next type of chosen one, we'll talk about those who carry everything in silence, but sustain the world with their resilience. There are people who don't make a fuss, don't ask for space, don't demand recognition, but they remain steadfast, even after everything. This is the silent endurer, the type of chosen one that no one notices, but who sustains more than many imagine. He has already gone through losses, spiritual rejection, family traumas, and deep abandonment, but he never stopped. While everyone else was looking for applause, he was looking for meaning. And when everything fell apart, he was the one who remained standing, even though he was still rebuilding himself inside. Carl Jung said that the tree that will be big must withstand more wind. And that is exactly what defines this archetype. It endures. It endures injustice, silence, and gratitude. But not out of weakness, out of depth. The hardener of the soul is not the loudest, but it is the most resilient. Its life mission is often hidden in routine, in invisible tasks, behind the scenes. It is the one who carries everything and still extends a hand. A true warrior of light, who exchanged the sword for roots. This type of chosen soul may seem ordinary on the outside, but it is ancestral on the inside. It carries ancient wisdom, inherited strengths, and resilience that only time can teach. Its spiritual strength is not on display, it is given. Many of them are mothers, fathers, grandparents, teachers, caregivers, workers who wake up early and go to bed late, and who, even when exhausted, continue. They support families, communities, projects, and sometimes they don't even hear a thank you. But that doesn't stop them, because they know they are fulfilling a soul mission. And it is precisely in his anonymity that his greatness lies. The silent endurer does not need to prove anything. He has already understood that the spiritual journey does not always shine. Often, it hurts. But he goes anyway. His soul's wounds do not weaken him, they guide him. Each scar is a map, each fall an instruction. He does not complain, he transforms. He does not demand, he supports. He is the one who builds solid foundations so that others can walk. If you recognize yourself in this profile, you may have thought that your life was unfair, that no one values what you do, that you are invisible. But I tell you, God is watching, and heaven trusts you, because your type of choice is rare. You were called not to shine, but to establish, to be a root, not a leaf, to sustain, not to appear. Your place is not at the center of the stage, it is at the foundation of the temple. So keep going. Life has tried to silence you, but heaven still calls you. Even without medals, you are a hero. Even without applause, you are a pillar. And even in silence, you are a beacon. In the next type of chosen one, we will talk about those who never stop searching, because their souls are hungry for meaning. There are people who are never satisfied with ready-made answers, who listen to an explanation and still keep asking questions. This is the eternal seeker, a rare breed of chosen one who cannot stand superficiality. He has a sacred hunger, not for food or status, but for meaning. From a young age, he senses that the world has hidden layers, and that there is something greater than anything he has been taught. His inner calling is constant, to discover what lies behind apparent reality. Carl Jung believed that the search for the self, the fulfillment of the soul, was the highest human goal. And the spiritual seeker embodies exactly that. He does not want fame, but depth. He does not want to follow a doctrine, but to awaken consciousness. That is why he immerses himself in books, studies, religions, cultures, philosophies. One day he is reading the Bible, the next he is investigating the Tao, and the next he is reflecting on Jung's letters. Not out of doubt, but out of faith in something that does not yet have a name. This type of chosen one never stops. He feels that life is too short to be stuck in boxes. And that's why he's often called fickle, confused, exaggerated. But deep down, he's just someone trying to put together a cosmic puzzle. He feels like he has a secret spiritual mission that will only be revealed when he puts the pieces together. And every reading, every conversation, every experience is a piece that fits into his soul map. He's building something invisible, but eternal. The seeker's deep spirituality is not made of certainties. It is made of revelations. He has a refined ear for the inner voice, which guides him even when the world says otherwise. And he knows the truth is never final. It is always changing, just like him. That is why the eternal seeker does not cling to leaders, gurus, or traditions. He respects everyone, but idolizes no one, because his greatest devotion is to the truth that pulses within him. And this search is his daily prayer. If you identify with this type, you may have heard that you think too much, question too much, and complicate everything. But the truth is, you feel that God is greater than any explanation. And you are not lost, you are on the move. Your soul mission is to find light where many do not even know there is a path. You are a beacon in the midst of chaos. You do not need to be right all the time. You need to keep searching, because your search is already service, already healing, already mission. So keep going. Read more, ask more, explore more. Because you are not lost. You are on a mission of revelation. And the more you seek, the more people you inspire to seek it too. Your inner transformation is not just yours, it illuminates generations. And now that you have learned about the 7 types of chosen ones, perhaps you are closer to discovering. Who are you on this spiritual journey? Did you notice? Each of these 7 types of chosen ones carries within themselves not only a mission, but also an inner battle. And perhaps, as you listened, your heart skipped a beat in one of them, or in several. This is no coincidence. When the spirit recognizes the truth, it reacts. And when you understand the divine purpose behind your pain, your sensitivity, your strength, life changes its meaning. Nothing you have experienced has been in vain. You are not here by chance. There is a spiritual calling echoing within you, and ignoring it may be the most painful thing. Now is the time to look within and ask yourself, which of these spiritual archetypes lives within me? Am I the voice that is born from pain, the presence that heals, the soul that confronts, the spirit that seeks? More than finding answers, the important thing is to embrace what you feel. Your spiritual journey doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It just has to be true to you. And if you've come this far, something is already moving inside your soul. Before closing, I invite you, if this content touched your spirit in any way, subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and leave your like. Here, each video is a reminder that you are not alone on this road. Every day, new messages are planted like seeds. Seeds that, one day, may bloom exactly where it hurt the most.